got going on?
So, I think I already got the answer.
All right, now,
from
Red.
a great question.
Red.
I think the answer already is, you and I are getting married now.
Who?
We're both at the altar, right? And the reality is, we're saying, oh, we're gonna get together, and we say, hey, let's talk about our past. Does body count really matter, right? And you say the open, hey, I'm open to things, right? And I say, hey, I slept with 4 guys at the same time.
Okay.
Right? Can he say the same?
Can he sleep with 4 guys at the
Yes.
same time? Hell no, he can't say that.
Wait a second. I'm so confused. Wait.
I don't know why
No.
you're confused. We're both getting married. We did all that work y'all talked about. We figured out who we were. We didn't compromise, because that's a bad word. We changed ourselves. Fuck, it's changing at this age, but we changed. And now we both are talking about, hey, let's do this. Let's settle down. It's time to do it. Yeah, let's both talk about it. Hey, I slept with a woman before, and you say, oh, good. And you say, I slept with a man before. Can this marriage still happen?
That's a question for the women. Because I don't have a clue.
Because the men are saying no.
No, I don't know nothing
You're
about
telling me no, that you wouldn't marry someone because she slept with another woman.
Okay. I'm telling
So,
you, I would
all right,
marry
well,
a man that slept with
let's
another
talk-
man.
I like what he said.
Okay.
The question is for women.
No, he's okay. No,
The
it's
question
not.
is
I
for
get it. I get it now.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
so you're saying that
We both slept
somebody's
with the
had
same sex.
a bisexual relationship. In
Yeah,
the
we
past,
both have had sex with
but
our
you're
same
in a
sex.
heterosexual relationship now, and women typically, as far as I know, wouldn't accept a man that been with another man.
No,
Okay,
I
so
wouldn't.
that's why he was saying it's for the women.
Right.
But for the men, you would accept me if I slept with another woman.
More than likely, yeah. But
and
Not
probably
me.
want to participate.
But no,
Not me.
no. But I think nowadays people put too much emphasis on that kind of freedom, because I don't want no woman that want another woman. I want a woman that want me.
That's what I was about to say.
You know
Nope.
what I mean? So that's some young shit. And I mean,
Maybe not.
no, I mean, I'm not
No,
saying
not at all.
I'm not saying completely, but a lot of times people, they want to go to the strip club with their woman. I don't want my woman in the strip club with me. I want her.
I ain't into the
I
strip.
used to go with my husband all the time.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you like.
We had a great time.
But I'm saying, in general, for me, when I was coming up, men went to the strip club and did man shit. When I'm in a strip club,
You probably younger
and
than
there's
me.
a bunch of women in the strip club, I'm not gonna be doing the same kind of man shit I would be doing
If your wife was there or your woman was there.
just women are there in general. Period. 'Cause
Other than the women who are stripping.
right.
Because I was just going to say the women
No,
are there.
I love
As long as they ain't got their
Objectifying
phones
those
out,
women
I'm
who
gonna do what I
love the
want to do.
women
But
who
you're
are
going to
stripping.
protect your woman.
Okay, for example,
Objectifying those women are fine,
No.
but you're going to protect
For
your
example,
woman.
if you're a man, you're there with a crew of men,
Let him talk.
and the women in the strip club are tipping better than you. Guess what a stripper's gonna be?
The women in the strip club are
They're gonna be
tipping
over
better
there
than
with the
you?
strippers.
Absolutely, because they're about
So
tipping.
there's competition. You take the women out.
That's why you do.
So
I wasn't ready.
We didn't see that one
I
coming.
never
I
been
didn't
in
think
a
that
strip
was.
club.
that
I didn't
one
see it
coming.
coming.
The only time I've ever been in a strip club was with the guy I was
But there's-
dating, and they would give me money to give to the stripper
but
because they
that's-
like that whole little
but now it's more
interaction.
prevalent. There's more women
Yes,
in the strip
yes,
club than there are
absolutely.
ever before.
Would.
You're gonna have more of that. So to answer the question, I don't. Nah.
You think no? Okay.
So I mean, if a woman, it's a lot.
If
of
I've
women,
been with other women,
if I had a
are you
dollar
okay
for every
with that?
woman who said she had a girlfriend in the past, I would be rich.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
Never had a
They
girlfriend.
want to. Yes.
It's prevalent.
It's a shame.
Yes.
It's prevalent.
It's very prevalent.
Okay.
But I don't
So-
go.
so
I don't.
my
I
question-
don't go down that road.
I think the question, Inyatu said it best.
It's for
The
women.
answer comes from women.
No, but
Are you okay if your woman has been with another woman?
Yes.
Are you okay if your man was
No.
been with,
No.
I'm talking to the woman. Are you okay if your man has been with another man?
Not at all.
I'm not talking.
I was asking the first question for
The other
the
woman.
woman being with a woman.
You.
No.
Women, are you okay with your man has been with another man?
I ain't okay with
Okay,
the
so
women on
hold
women
on.
thing either.
Trinity, you okay with your man being with another man?
No. I mean,
Octavia,
so
you
the
okay if your
question-
man been with another man? You okay with your man? Yeah, okay.
No.
No.
We're not
She
talking body count.
she
We're
evolved
talking
to.
the type of body,
You okay
right?
if your woman been with another woman?
I'm not.
No.
I'm not. No.
So let me just.
I don't like to be confused.
May
I want to be
ask my
sure.
question? May I
You
ask my question?
confused?
My
How I'm
wife
gonna be
say-
sure?
Go ahead and ask your
By
question.
round of applause, men. How many men are okay if your woman has been with another woman? By
Only
round
for
of applause.
fun. Only for fun.
By round of applause. You
Okay.
said only for fun.
Oh, yeah, that's fun stuff for me, but
Wait,
because
wait,
that's
wait.
my boundary.
So what do you mean for fun? What do you mean for fun? If your
We
partner
can
has had
date
sex with
and
another
we can
woman,
have fun, but I don't want to be in a partnership with a woman who's attracted to women, because if you tell me you're attracted, see, I'm attracted to women for real, right? That's never going to change.
okay, so
Right.
maybe
Right? So my perception of attraction to women is
That's never gonna
intense
change.
and permanent. So if you tell me you have liked women and you change your mind,
No.
I can't later, if you pop up later on down the line and say
right, so-
me liking women came back, right? What you gonna say to me is I told you.
So Inyati, let's be
I knew
clear.
going into it, so I don't want no confusion.
Inyati,
I want you
what
to
do
be
I
into
do?
me.
What do I do?
What do you mean?
What's
What
my
do you do?
tagline? I talk about sex for a living, right? So we're not talking about relationships. We're not talking about did you love this woman.
I said fun.
But no.
We can have
Because
fun.
it might not have been fun.
When I was single.
It might not have been fun. So you're okay if your woman has had sex with another woman. By round of applause. Men, are you okay if you win? Men,
2 men clapped.
2 men clapped, right? So
3.
you're not necessarily 3.
3.
It's not okay. Women, are you okay if your man has had sex with another man? For gay, for pay, for stay, for lay?
Clap.
Because whatever
None.
you're
No.
saying, right?
No.
Right?
Not at all.
Now let's talk about why. So that's the question, right?
Let us get him in.
Okay.
Okay, you asked the question when the gentleman was saying he would go to the strip club, but he would try to protect his wife or his girlfriend.
No, I said that about
Yes,
him.
yes,
Yes, because you would
And
objectify the women you're.
yes. You would objectify the woman that you come to see, and you don't want your wife to be that woman, or you wouldn't want your wife to be in that room
With you.
Right, and that's just the man's world, and that's just how it is, and that's how men think about it. If he chooses to protect this one, that's the one he chose. And he's still going to go to the strip club, and he's still going to pay money. And if she would understand that, she wouldn't have a problem with it, because he's just
Being a man.
being a man.
And he
he'll come
can't
home
backhand her too,
and
right?
I don't
I
know
mean,
if I
since we're
even
talking about the
understand what you just said.
And
That's
he'll
what-
come home to his wife,
Yo, I
and
got
he
you.
will tell her, I was at the strip club. And it's only if she's got a problem with, well, what did you do at the strip club? I was with the fellas. We
I
spent
totally get
$100.
that.
What's your name, bro?
Yeah, I don't
They
even.
call me the Hib, and I'm the most interesting man in the world.
God
Hey,
bless
I
you.
love it.
Dos Equis. I'm gonna buy you a beer.
No.
All men are not the same.
Right.
So
Oh,
not at
while
all.
I'm not the
Right.
dude who, because I'm just not in the strip clubs, period. So I don't care about going with my girl, because I don't care about going by myself. But all men are not alike. I've seen dudes go to the strip club with their girl, and him and their girl have a ball with
We
the strip
had a
club.
We just
blast.
All
went
men
down
are
the
not.
rabbit hole on
Some
strip
men
clubs. That's
won't.
not the question.
Women, you right. I'm
We
sorry.
did
I was dressing what he
42nd Street
said.
in New York. It was a
Hello?
blast.
Can we get to the question, right? So when we're talking about why, because again, the reason that these questions come up with
Why, ladies?
with my clients and my patients, right, is because of the risk factor. So for those who don't know, I'm Gina Lamar. I talk about sex for a living. I'm an HIV specialist, right? And so the main mode of transmission is unprotected sex. Not IV drug usage, not those tattoos. That's mostly hepatitis C, right? Not perinatal transmission, right? So one of the things, and when you said about questions, this question came up in another situation, right? Where the person said, I think that's biased. And if we're talking, in a room where people are saying that's biased. And I said, we have to talk about the health connotations.
Give us the numbers.
We have to talk about the health connotations, right? And the reality is, if 2 women have sex, they're less likely to be able to spread HIV. Gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis, absolutely. but definitely not the HIV, right? But for men, because of the way in which they have sex, they're able to do it. So when this came up, I said, oh, this is always the case. Now he's going to do a sidebar over there and try to do it. You know it was your question, Anthony. Why are you playing with me? Anyway, but women say that. Right. But I say that because everybody quickly says that, right? But unfortunately, we have lots of women. No, who do it?
Do what?
Sleep with men who have slept with other men.
Oh, yeah.
And we know that, right? And so I wouldn't be in business. I tell people.
No, I've seen women on social media say they don't care.
I tell people all the time.
They feel open.
I've been
understand.
MPH. I can do flu shots in Florida, the Bolivia virus in Bolivia, and now the coronavirus in Corona, California. But y'all keep me with a job right here in the city of Chicago because everybody is sitting in this room saying what they're not doing, and then they end up in my office doing it, right? Doing it, right? So, and they do it when they say they didn't know they did it, or they say they found out later, but they didn't in the relationship. I always use Cookie Johnson because she, put herself out there. If you watch the movie, the announcement, when Magic Johnson called her and said, hey, we need to talk, she said, well, wait a minute. Aren't you supposed to be on the court right now? What's going on? He said, I'm coming home. We need to talk. And watch it. It's a public movie. Watch it. The announcement. She said, oh my God, I was so afraid he was going to leave me because it had taken so long for him to marry me. I thought he was going to leave me. The message is, I don't care if he comes home with HIV as long as he doesn't leave me. You see? Because watch it. I didn't make it up. Watch the movie. She said, I was just so nervous that he was going to leave me. And I say that because I love the way we start these conversations. And everybody is so earnest about what they're doing and how they're doing it and what they're going to stand for and what they're not going to stand for, what they're going to put up with. And I sit in the room every day. I go around the country speaking because every day people put up with far more than they're saying. So all I say is that's what good girlfriends are for. That's what these forums are for. You can lie to us. Don't lie to you. Don't lie to you. Because and when you say, oh, what I'm attracting, you continuously attract the same kind of person if you don't deal with how you ended up with an abuser the first time, right?
So are as many people, is that still...
Is HIV still a thing?
Yeah.
I love when people say that, right? So I say, absolutely.
Because I don't hear about it much no more.
No, I see the.
I love why
I see
people say
the-
that.
the
Because I say,
advertisements for it.
should you come in contact with it, you won't be stressed about it. See, so if you get it, you won't be all upset about it. Because like you said, is it still a thing? Yes, it's still a thing. We still have it. But what we do have is a pill to stop you from contracting it. Got a pill to stop you from contracting the virus. I got nothing for the gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis, y'all. But the HIV, you can take a pill. And if you have a great weekend at the strip club and go home with one of them strippers, and you wake up and you like, what's your name again? You can take the pill. It's like the morning after pill, right? So if y'all wake up with unprotected, she can take a pill to stop the pregnancy. And she can take a pill and you can take a pill to stop the HIV.
Wow.
It's called PrEP. And then there's PEP, right? So there's a Plan B pill.
I saw that.
And
I
then
saw
there's
that
PEP.
advertisement for that.
You got it. And it's for men and women.
Kira, you might. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, hold on. I can't hear you.
We did a panel at Shatima's, your store, a few years back, and there was a woman on the panel who was HIV positive. I remember this like yesterday. This was at your spot. And she said when she tells dudes that she HIV positive, they don't get discouraged in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
I remember that.
Yes.
They go harder at it.
Yes.
Lord
And you
have
know
mercy.
why? You know why?
Why?
The same reason women are not willing to have sex with men who've had sex with men. The mode of transmission. As a public health professional, I cannot say that I can't give it to a man, but the reality is it's much harder to give it to a man because I'd have to
I don't
get
think
it
them
from my
dudes
sister.
educated. I think they was horny.
I don't know.
It's stupid.
I don't think it's stupid.
I'm with you on that.
And again,
I don't think
everybody
they was
says that.
educated.
I don't think everybody says that, but I would be out of business if y'all did all the stuff you say you're doing.
No, I didn't say
Like
I
if
did
you-
nothing. I
and I'm not
think
saying
that
you are. I'm
dude
just saying,
was
in
willing to risk it
society.
all,
Shatima.
Yeah.
not because he did the homework and
But you
thought he
have a
wasn't gonna
question?
get it.
I'm just so taken aback. My brain is like spinning. I said, you said what now?
Yeah,
Right.
your
Right.
store in
Right.
Park Forest, is that the right?
Forest Park.
Forest
I'm
Park.
going back
I always
to-
mix those up.
West Side.
Okay,
yeah.
West
go
Side,
ahead.
West Side.
Forest
West
Park.
South.
What's
You
your
had
question,
some
comment?
panels.
So you're saying, so you're saying that women are out here sleeping with men that have told them that
No,
they-
the opposite. The woman said that she tells men that she's HIV
That's what you
positive.
said.
Oh,
She
no.
was asking me the question.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I,
And I
don't-
said yes.
I believe you that happened. I just don't remember. Like,
Yes.
But I'm
I'm
still, my
I'm
head
saying-
is spinning off
I'm
of what.
saying women are still staying in relationships with men who have identified the fact that they have been with other men, right? And that they're HIV positive, i.e. Magic Johnson, right? And they stay together. Now, let's be clear. They're educated based on what you all said. They understand the science. If I take the meds, it's hard for me to contract the virus, right? I got in trouble when I went on Fox News. When Charlie Sheen announced he had HIV, I got a phone call 4 o'clock in the morning from Fox News. Hey, Gina, you need to come on, have this conversation, right? I said, these women, are they victim or volunteers? I said, because Charlie Sheen went around the country on a tour bus talking about brothels, drugs, and all kind of stuff,
And
right?
Tiger Blood.
White women went at my page, came at my credentials like crazy, saying, you can't say that, those poor women. I said, if I meet a dude in a bar and he don't tell me his status, that's one thing. Charlie Sheen took a tour bus around the fucking country. So if you had unprotected sex with Charlie Sheen, so yes, I'm saying women know that men are positive, and they say things like, but he was taking his meds, right? And that's fair. Anybody in here ever missed your blood pressure pill? Right, because people take their meds. So yeah, that's the part. So you remember what's the title of this show? X.
Let's talk about it.
No, but what was
Dating,
the,
relationships, and sex.
the sex part? So I'm the sex lady, right? Because that's when you all are talking about all of these feelings and standards and all these other things, I have to talk about it once y'all sitting in my office, because I got to now tell all the partners you've been in contact with. I'm not dare calling out your 5, 3 in a real circle. I'm not there. And let me tell you why, because you are the norm. You're just willing to say it. You're the norm. You're just willing to say it. And what's the joke we said at Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day, when you found out, were you Barbara or Shirley? Because Barbara, you were with him on Valentine's Day. Shirley, you were the day before, the day after. So man sharing and relationship sharing happens all the time. So that's where that question came up. And some people felt like we were being, that people are being too judgmental with men. That is fair. I always have to explain. It's because of the mode of transmission. So my other question, just the other part of that is.
Real quick, because we went so far over on the first question.
Oh, yeah.
that
Oh, of course we
make
did.
it real quick.
Oh, look, of course we did. The other question is, right, of course we did. The other question is, what is your absolute?
What does
What's
that
the
mean?
one thing you will not put up with in a relationship, right? And do you know that right off your back? Because we have all of these things that you said that you were looking for that I have to be able to identify that I'm willing to do and I'm willing to say and do, right? Versus what you're absolutely not going to put up with.
I
Are
got
we
a lot of
asking
absolutes.
absolute as far as it pertains to sex, or are we just saying relationships?
The
Period?
relationship period.
I got a bunch of them.
I got one.
Young kids,
6 kids,
smoking.
6 kids, 7
Young
kids.
kids. If you got kids under 25,
Yes.
or that you still taking care
Under
of, because
25.
they still in college. If your kid's still in college, them still
son
young.
He has
22.
a 7-year-old. He said he has a 7-year-old. So that's an absolute.
Actually, today on Facebook, one of the guys that
My son
liked
is
me
22. You
told
can't
me
do
he
it.
had a 7-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old. I said I messed up somewhere on that question about kids, then, because I need
So
to
my
change
son is
that.
22. That's a red
Is he in
flag
college?
for you.
Is he in college?
No, he done with that.
Do he live with you?
No,
He's still an adolescent.
He got
though.
his own life.
he got his
still
own.
adolescent.
You not supporting
got
him or still raising him in any way?
I ain't support. When we go out to eat, I pay for the food when we go out to eat.
Okay,
So he's off your
as
insurance?
long as he is
He's not on
not
my-
your responsibility, because there are men who have adult kids over 18, but they still live with them. They're still technically supporting them as if they're a child. They're still guiding them through life, and I understand that.
If he
'cause
needed
I got
that,
kids.
I would.
You said what?
If he needed that,
I know,
would.
and that's you should,
Mhm.
but that just means that I wouldn't
No
date
go.
you.
So he 22. He almost at the finish line. You like,
Because
no,
that's my
sir.
option. I cannot date you if I don't want to. My kids are grown and gone, and so I want to
That
make my man my priority, and I want him to make me his priority. And if you still taking care of your kids, I can't be your priority, and I understand that I should not be your priority if you have young kids. But that means that I don't want to deal with you on that level because I can't be your priority.
Interesting.
All right. What's your absolute?
Well, it's just like hers. But the problem is that she could articulate that wholeheartedly 100% to a man. But as a man,
You
I
say
can't.
that.
You ain't a real man.
I can't say that same.
You
thing
saying
to
so?
You sassy ass nigga.
I can, but it's not gonna yield me the same rewards.
It don't matter what they think.
You see what I'm
I've
saying?
had men
Yes.
tell me that I was selfish because my husband died. I was married, my husband died. I had 2 kids, right? I dated. The men stepped in and they were, a father figure, right? And so that was their choice.
It's always.
I can make a different choice. I don't have to make the same choice.
But I have a question. I wanted to see if y'all could elaborate with everybody in the room. The elephant in the room is I want to say this in a good way, but do women still know their place?
What's my
Uh-oh.
place? I need to know what you think my place is.
See, and so hold on, Paul.
That's that backhand.
So-
That's that backhand. Say it again.
So
Give me the backhand.
so
Come on, Ralph Cramden.
So-
Come on, Ralph Cramden. Bang,
So-
Archie
boom.
Bunker.
so the reason that I said it like that because I knew that was what was going to happen.
Absolutely.
So everybody in here is grown. We all know that everything has its place. Kitchen has its place in the house. Things in the kitchen have their place in the kitchen, right? I'm a man. I have a
He's
place
used to them OCD.
in a relationship, in my family, in every aspect of my life. But as soon as I say, remember what I just said? You said everything you said, and that would be greeted with less animosity than if I said
I
it to
get
a woman.
animosity.
So if I say, do a woman know her place, and we get that reaction, if I had said it completely different and started off a different way, like a man knows his place and la 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 la, and softened the room first, it would have been a completely different reaction.
It's a matter of defining what that place is because I may have my place.
But
I may know my place.
no. So my point is that when a man says what I just said, you get that reaction. But the fact is that everything has its place, and nowadays all of this discussion that we're having is predicated on relationships and everybody wanting to know, how do I make it better? How do I get a man? How to get a woman? Whatever. But nobody really wants to address the elephant in the room of people are out of pocket. People are out of place. And a lot of times when a man says what I just said, you get that reaction, but you don't get the reflection.
So can I say something to your question, to
I got
your
it.
statement? Hold on, Gina.
Goddamn.
So here's what happened. So back in the day, when there was gender roles, right? That was a different time. Women had different limitations put on them. And so what happened was our limitations changed. We can buy a house without you guys approving it. We can make
Not in
money.
Louisiana, but go ahead.
We can actually take care of ourselves now. And so that evolution came on our side, but you guys didn't evolve. So the only thing that you come with now is your ability to provide and a penis. And so back in the day, that was enough. That was enough. So now we need more from you. We need you to be a friend. We need you to be attentive. We need you to be different things for us. And you are not at that spot at this time. We're still going through this evolution. And, so whoever's saying, all of that stuff. So I'm out here dating and I meet the men and I leave the men alone because the last guy I dated, he was like, I'm stable, I'm established. And he said, I said, I don't care about that part. I want you to be my friend. I want you to be attentive. I want you to get to know me. He said, well, most women just want you to pay their bills. I can pay my own bills. And so a lot of men don't have anything past that. So as you talk about the do you know your role?
Let me interrupt.
My role has changed.
Let me interrupt just a little bit.
May I answer as well?
Okay. Let me say this.
The number one viral conversation, though, so you have to understand when you the exception to the rule.
Exactly.
But the number
Which
one
is always
conversation
the case.
right now is 50-50 and who's paying 100 and things of that nature. And that doesn't mean that it applies to you. That doesn't change your narrative any way, shape, form, or fashion. But you got to understand that, you know, your reality is your reality. It's
I don't
not.
care about 50-50 because I got a house.
I know you don't
I got
care.
my own
But that's-
stuff.
I know you. I'm not out here having conversations
you
about
to
50-50
love me
either as
for
a
me.
man. And I don't have to.
I need you to love me.
I don't have to lead with money either, but that doesn't
But
mean
most
that
of you
other.
do.
Hey guys, respect the mic.
I'm not sure.
But most of
I'm
you
not
do lead
sure
with
if
money.
most of us do, but a
A
significant
lot of you
amount.
do.
Significant
Lead with
amount
money.
do, but we have to take responsibility for what we attract and what we choose.
All right.
And I don't choose that.
I love-
That's
Go
gonna be the
ahead.
next.
I'm gonna-
No,
I'm gonna
may I
close.
please answer the question though
Okay,
before
go
you do
ahead.
that?
Go
Because
ahead.
when you say know your roles, I question whether or not men do, right? Because there's so many men who make babies and do not stay in that family to protect that child until they're an adult. Because my role is my father's. My father died 1 week after my second birthday, but was a protector, right? My stepfather, best man to walk the face of the earth, showed us. He didn't have to walk around saying he's the man of the house. He acted like the man of the house, and everybody knew their role and their place after that, right? So when you say that, I always have to push back about my role. What is the man,
I
not you,
understand, I
the
understand.
man who left and said, I'd rather let someone else raise my child or let the woman raise my child versus me, right? The role, if we're sticking with exactly what Xavia said. Back in the day, she said she's starting to sweat. Oh, I love it. I love it. But no, I love it. I love what Xavia said, right? And of course, it's going to walk away on that one, right? Because when you have children, if you have not stayed in the home for them, that's a role that
Gina,
stays in my head.
I have a question.
At all times.
Gina, have you ever been to family court?
Absolutely.
How many times?
I don't know, when I was doing DCFS, I was there all the time.
God bless. Because if you have, and you've seen cases where men are fighting to be in their child's life, you will see
Oh,
that
my
the
nephew
justice
took my
system
sister- my
is
nephew
100% against.
My nephew took his exes to court and has joint custody.
God bless.
He
How long did it take?
4 years.
Right.
It took
That's
4
my
years.
point.
4
So
years.
day one,
But
they got
the
the
day I
child
tell
support
you-
straightened out,
but the day
and
I
they didn't get my
tell you-
visitation straightened out for 5 years.
But the day I tell you you can't date her is the day. But the day I tell you you can't date her is the day you take her to court. And you for real about it, right? Because what you all tell me, and I've heard this, I've been single a lot of dates. What's the first 1,000 dates? I've done 1,000 dates, right? That I meet men who say, oh yeah, I'm not with my ex, right? And I say, oh, but have you taken her to court? Or you can just give up parental custody.
Okay.
You can give up
Let
hold
me
on.
close.
But I want to say
Okay.
this because you
Let's
talked
get the
about
mic in there.
when you talk about the role.
5
That's
years.
the role. That's the role.
Well, let me close with this.
Yes.
Reason that I asked the question that way is because I knew I'd get the reaction that I got. The reason that we get that reaction is because it's offensive most of the time for a man, being a man, to question if a woman knows her role as a woman. Because you just illuminated everything about you, what you know about men in the past being men.
And men in the future. I have 18 nephews.
And I would argue that
No
nothing
nieces, 18
about
nephews.
men and women has changed other than the way they think about being men and women.
I just need you to tell me what you think my role looks like. What does my role look like? Because
Make me a sandwich.
do you want me to make you a sandwich, or do you want me to pay 50% of the rent? What does my role look like to you? Because every man, this is one thing I know for sure. Because I was really cute, younger, right?
Still cute.
So I've dated people, lots of different men, and different men are different. Everybody is not you. Everybody's not Inyatu. Everybody's not Okera. Everybody's not Keith. Everybody's not
Xavia.
Ezekiel. Men
Say
are
Xavia.
so different. So
But-
to you, what does my role look like? In 30
You got it.
Yeah, because we got to take a break.
Well, what I would say is that what my idea of what a woman is a woman is supposed to be a supportive partner to a man. And when I said suppose, you said suppose. Well, there are things a man is supposed to be also. And if he fails at those things, he's not doing his job. But when a man fails at not being a man, everybody highlights it. But when a woman fails at being a woman, there's an excuse for it.
So
A
what is your
man
role
did
as a
something-
man in your idea, in your perspective?
Excuse me?
What is your role as a man?
To lead.
To lead me where?
Well,
Because
To the promised land.
see,
I'm
He said to
here.
the
Hold on,
promised
Down the
land.
golden
hold on, listen.
brick road. Damn it.
So here's the thing: if a woman were standing here expressing what she wants from a man, she probably wouldn't feel as attacked as I feel right now. That's
No,
the
'cause
point.
I'm-
And
But
the,
you talking about
and
leading
the fact
me.
is, no. What I'm saying is that I don't necessarily feel attacked because I'm confident in what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're asking me is what is my role? And if I say my role is to lead, if you don't need to be led, then my role is not for you.
Okay, so that is the whole
You follow
compatibility
what I'm
thing.
saying? Because a
That's the
woman is
whole
going to
compatibility
follow
thing.
the man that she needs to be with. So if I'm the piper and I'm playing the wrong song, you're not going to dance to my beat.
But okay, so the whole leading thing. So to me, it depends on, because we all have an idea where we want to go.
I wasn't finished.
I know, but I'm just saying
But
I want to
the-
get in on your lead
but
thing.
the
So where are you
leading-
taking them?
Okay, so
That's part of the issue.
I have 3 daughters and 2 sons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as a father, if my daughter says, "Dad, I want to do this, and this,"
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell her that she can't do it. I'm going to ask her what she needs to accomplish what she needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's my role as her father. As a husband, I have the same responsibility to my wife, my woman, my girlfriend. Okay, I'm not expecting a woman to come in and pay half the bills of this, that, and the third. The role of a man is the role of a man. A woman has a role also, but when you tell a woman you have a role, you have a place, y'all immediately get offended by that. Y'all
And that
immediately
is
get
because
offended.
we are grown and we already have a whole life going on.
Time out.
And so you have to. So
Do you
whole
think that
thing
about
is,
men?
How do I become we? This is what he's talking about. So if he has a role and I have a role, and so I grew up traditional. So at the base, I'm kind of traditional.
Again,
Okay. So when it comes
You
down to
moderate.
it, I'm gonna.
exception.
That's where I'm gonna go. However, if he's gonna tell me, listen, so this is where we going, and you can't do none of what you was doing before. You're not gonna support me in what I'm doing and how I'm growing because you have a direction that you think we should go in, and you don't think that what I'm doing is really worth it, but it's fulfilling to me and it brings me happiness. And I think that life is about being happy and fulfilled.
But that's
now
not
I
what he
got
said.
other stuff
Yeah.
going on as
Yeah.
well, but if you don't care nothing about what I'm doing and you want me to hop on your bandwagon
Time out.
and
I think this is part of the challenge. I think this is part.
Xavia, he didn't
this
say
role
that.
thing is a problem.
I think it's part of the challenge. You just said that you're a traditional woman at the base of it.
At the base.
But before
If I
that,
like-
you started with you don't need a man to pay no bills. You don't need
I
all
know.
these things that are very modern. There's nothing wrong with being modern, but there's something very wrong with being very modern while telling yourself that you're traditional
Traditional.
and expecting the other party
So
to be
once
traditional.
once
You
I
ain't
get
that.
into the
And there's nothing wrong with being
relationship,
modern, but
then
you
he
are
has
modern.
earned that spot for me to give him those traditional things. But
Time
when
out.
and so that's actually part of my question, because there's different men that you interact with. You meet men every day. So when I meet a guy just normally, I'm not walking up to him being a traditional submissive woman to this dude I don't know. So being that person to him comes in time after I know him and I respect him and I trust him. Those things come with trust. That's not something that you hop off with. I'm
I agree with that.
up front. I am.
But let's
who
start
said-
before
somebody
that.
else has said
Before
that.
all of that, before you meet
said you was a
anybody.
whole woman. You said that, didn't you? I'm a whole person, woman. When I show up, I don't need. I'm good.
Before you meet a man, before a man is even in the equation, your conversation right now is modern.
time out. Can I just
Yo,
say,
you know what I'm saying? And a lot of women's conversation on social media and every other platform that they get to promote who they are
I want
publicly.
someone who is a friend. I need a person.
I'm not.
I don't
You
need
can want whatever
somebody
you
to tell
want.
me that they are a
I don't like-
provider.
My only
I don't want
discourse,
you to
my
tell me
only
you a
discourse
provider. That don't help me at
is
all.
the impression that you're traditional.
Okay.
Embrace if you're modern. Embrace
I'm not
it.
modern.
Don't.
now.
okay, let me.
I just don't want
God
you to
bless
jump
your
off
heart.
with provider.
God bless
If you
your
jump
heart.
off with
You're modern.
provider and leader.
Yes.
Self-awareness
You're not going
is
to
rare.
provide and lead for me
All right.
Yes.
up front.
Look. I just wanted to say one
Go
thing.
ahead.
Even
I'm
the
modern.
ladies are saying you're modern.
I'm
You
modern.
gotta be self-aware. If you don't know,
I just wanted to say this.
Oh, it's talking.
I think
I want something deeper than a provider and
what the guy
you should.
all of that.
Yes.
what the guy
Embrace it.
was, I think personally, what he was trying to illustrate is the fact that even though in relationships we end up having roles, the mere mention of a role offends. And the fact that it offends because someone is expressing a reality, we're starting from behind. Because if you are offended by the possibility or the reality of a role, then we're starting from a negative. But at some point in our relationships, your role
We all
is
have to
going
have
to
a role.
come.
We all
And
have to have a
everybody have a situation where they want in their mind to be able to play a certain type of role. And if your first reaction to the possibility of a role is you know what you talking about and what you doing this now it takes longer to get past that to get to where we need to go.
And
I
I'm
think
just
that's
gonna
all
say
he was trying to illustrate was just
what
the
roles-
mere
yeah.
the mere saying of a role.
is an issue.
Is
But
an
you
issue.
said it best when you talked about a budget, right? I might make more money than my man. But if he manages money better, his role is to manage the money, right? And so it doesn't mean that just because I make more money, I get to manage the checking account because it's going to keep on ending up whatever I'm spending it on, right? So everybody has roles. It's the same thing we said about constant compromise. It triggered, right? Roles triggered. But everybody in friendships, you know who's in business, you know who's going to drive, right? You know who's going to drive.
is that
You
a
know who's
compromise
making-
though?
No,
Is it
it's
a
not.
compromise to
It's
let
a
the person
role.
who's good at
It's
money
a role.
handle the
No,
money?
I'm
That
saying
ain't
we're
no
talking about
compromise.
roles.
That's a benefit.
No, we're talking about roles, though.
I agree with that.
So that's it. We just used the word roles, and when he said that, I do agree that it was triggering. But everybody has a role, guys, and we all have to play our roles.
I think the
Stay in
trigger
your
is who
lane.
defines the roles. I think
Right.
that's the trigger for
That
people.
is the trigger.
I think the
It's the
trigger
way
for
you
people
and how.
is to act like that there's this one
Yes.
fit
Yes.
for
there is.
every single man and one fit for every single
Yes,
woman.
that is
And
the
that's
trigger.
not how that goes. And so I
No,
think
it's
that's the
not.
resistance to role.
Okay, let's get to the mic because we got to take a break so that we can do some other technical stuff behind the scenes.
And today, in modern times with social media, we are spending more time talking about how a relationship should be and what a relationship should be and what we want in relationships instead of walking the relationship with the person you want to walk that relationship with. Talk to that person and keep your business out of the streets and out of social media. Everybody has an advice on how you should run your life and how you should be with this person instead of you talking to the person that you're with and them talking to you. Simple conversation will eliminate all this debate on how it should be done. Today's modern women want a modern relationship, but they're not modern anymore. So men are today saying we can't give you that because you are not the same as our grandmothers were. We are not the same as our grandfathers were. So we have to change with the times and understand in a relationship, it'll be more doing a contract, a negotiation of two people coming together and say, can we get along together for the sake of paying bills and
Yeah.
living.
That's
without-
called a marriage.
Without eating cat food, because marriage ain't what it used to be. And
But I'm saying that's a marriage. That's
No,
why,
that's not a marriage.
No,
Not in the
I'm saying
future.
it's a contract. You
It's
need
a
a judge
contract.
to get in and a judge to get out
Not
of the
if you
marriage.
look- yeah,
so
but
I'm
we
saying,
don't want a marriage.
But I'm saying that's a role, right? So we don't want the marriages. But when you just said that about we have to have a contract,
Yeah.
we have to sit down and we have to discuss it. That's what marriage is in the state of Illinois.
And the
It's a-
city, yes,
you got it.
But
It requires
that's
a judge to get in.
traditional ideology of what marriage used to be, and everybody thinks that that's the same thing today, and it's not.
No, it's not.
I want
Because
to.
the people are
It's still
different.
a contract.
We've been
It is still a
raised and
contract.
we've been taught and we've been brainwashed by social media, television, and everything else, and we still won't say what we want to each other, and we'll say it to everybody else, and we'll put our business out in the streets, and we'll get married because we say we love, because this guy makes a lot of money, and he'll marry me, and I'll have his babies, and I can get all of his stuff at the end of the year, and then I'll start all over. And that's what we see.
I want to share with you, brother. What you said is not untrue. People definitely need to be talking to the person that they dealing with. But I'm gonna tell you, one of the biggest obstacles to people having healthy relationships is they don't have the tools. Right? So when you in school and you take that first test in a class and you fail and it don't
Yep.
look like it's going good for you,
Yep.
you can either drop the class or you can go get a tutor. And I'm here to tell you that in my young 20s, I desperately wanted a healthy relationship. I desperately wanted a healthy marriage with the woman I was in love with. But I didn't have the tools to pick correctly. I didn't have the tools to lead correctly. I didn't have the tools to manage correctly. I'm 50 years old today, and finally, I have at least a strong tool belt. I ain't gonna say I have all the tools, but I got a strong tool belt. But what I see is many people have these desires of what they want from their romantic experience, but they don't have the tools. So they ready for what they want, but they're not prepared for what they want. With that being said, I'm gonna give it up to the
To the
brother.
mic.
All right.
Yeah, it's hard.
That was the best line ever, right?
It is. It is. Trying to figure this thing out and trying to navigate this process, in the relationship, right? It's one thing to have some good models, and people to sit down with you and talk about consequences and pros and cons and all of those things. Whereas it appears in our relationships, we're only learning by experience. We're learning by trial and error, right? So I think the pushback in saying the roles, I think the biggest pushback in mentioning that sensitive word is going to come from women and not from men. And then the question becomes, why is the energy coming from men when we say roles and not women, and not coming from men? What is that all about? And unpacking all of that, right? So again, the tradition, men run everything. We run it all, right? You name a platform that's existing right now, there's a man at the top of it, right?
A white man.
Right? It's right, still a man, right? So again, we set all the rules. We make all of the decisions when boots on the ground, when it really come down to it. So with that in mind, if you're suffocating underneath that and you don't feel that this is fair, right, then we get movements and we get pushback, right? So women, right, this has been the energy that's been coming from women. When you say a role, it's a reminder of that. And so as a result, it's going to be some constant pushback on that, but at the same time, it's justifiable. I mean, women couldn't get their own checking account until 1970.
Yep.
That was yesterday, right? Because we held it down, right? So this whole ideal of nuclear family and traditional and all this stuff, this come from men. Women didn't create that,
Absolutely.
right? So the thing is, now women are getting a movement. I got my own car. I got my own job. I got 2 houses. What I need you for, right?
Yeah.
So this is what men had got to deal with, right? Plus, women. I mean, we grown. Women come harder with toys
than they do with men anyway. I'm just saying for the most part.
Absolutely.
So now,
Sexually,
so
At
now
times.
I got my own car, I got my own job, I got 2 houses, I come harder with toys. So now what do you bring to the
I
table?
don't
What
hear
do
me.
you have to offer me, right? And as a result of that, this is where we're out here hurting. These brothers, we out here in these streets, and we out here hurting and everything like that because, again, the paradigm has changed. So the girl, you know, my cousin tell me a story, the girl getting married, and the preacher says to the female, this is the modern versus traditional, says to the female, for better or for worse. She said, for better or for better.
Yeah.
And she started laughing. The preacher started laughing. No, daughter, no. It's for better or for worse. And she said, no, it's for better or for better.
That's
She never would
universal
come
law.
off of that, right?
Law of attraction.
That's the
Yeah.
modern thing.
That's
Yeah.
the law of
right?
attraction.
Right. No, not necessarily law of attraction. What
It
it's
is the
saying
law of
is-
attraction. I
No,
study
no,
law
I'm
of
finna
attraction.
show
That's the law of
you. I'm
attraction.
finna show you. Check this out. The reason why I say it wouldn't be that like that is because what is she saying? She's saying, look, I got boundaries, right? I'm
Yes.
not finna just take
She is an
everything.
absolute.
You're not finna just run up the front of me and down the back of me, and I'm just gonna forgive you, right? That's what she's saying in that statement, right? So therefore, you're gonna have to walk a particular way with me, or it's not gonna last, right? So now we got these
I don't think
groups
that's what
now,
she's saying.
right? So now we got, right? That's what she was saying. That was a boundary
Law of
statement.
attraction says you speak stuff into existence. She was saying that no matter what situation we in, we gonna work to make it better. So no, it's for better.
Well, that's
or
how you
for
heard
better.
it.
That's not the biblical
That's how you
vow.
heard
I
it.
believe
Right,
it.
right.
So
That's the
my
biblical vow.
That's
my
the law
question
of
would be,
attraction.
Xavia, I don't know how old you are, but has it been better for better every year? Have you never faced a challenge, never faced a dip on
I
your
have
own
faced-
as a single
I
person?
have faced some challenges.
So you gonna
but
face
it
that
made
in a
me
relationship,
grow,
too.
and it made me better.
You were with you for better or for worse,
Right.
not just for better for better.
Right.
If it got worse for you, you didn't quit on you.
So worse is always a space where you learn. Just like if you listen to rich people, they will tell you that failure is a step toward success.
It's the only way to
And
have a
so for
business.
better or for better. So even
Yeah.
if we go through a downtime, that does not mean that we in worse. That
wasn't
means
saying-
that we are
No,
in
but
But
this
they
That's
wasn't
learning
saying that
phase.
when they was in that down.
That ain't what she was saying.
Right.
When you
Correct.
okay,
80%
unless you-
divorce-
unless
they're
you
successful.
80%
understand-
I
divorce
see where you're going.
unless
initiated
you
by women.
understand that, then you are going to look at the worst as worse. Okay, we in this worse. You know, right now
Yeah.
our credit scores is messed up and the mortgage is behind. But that just means that we need to learn something and move forward to better. So better or for better, that is a positive outlook.
But was
in my
that
book.
the vow that they wrote, or was the preacher
It's
doing
my
the
marriage. I can't write my vows.
No,
Well,
that's not what happened here.
That's not what happened. See how you
Right.
we always
Right,
project our
right.
ish
We let too
onto
many people
every
control
situation.
our lives. That's the problem. We let too many people
Yeah, she
control our
did. She
lives.
let the pastor do the traditional marriage vows.
Right.
And then
was
she
basically
disagreed.
saying, I
Lord
don't know.
Jesus.
I don't know what worse look like, right? So if I
Shit.
say for better or for worse, and I said that, then I can be held accountable. Baby, you said
You don't know what for worse
for
looks
better
like?
or for worse, and you don't even know what worse look like, right? So I think
I don't believe that.
I think that's about. I think again, this is the modern. So if somebody hooking up, and I come with a modern perspective, and you come from a traditional perspective, how are we expecting this to work? It's just not going to materialize. Like both moderns had to be modern together, and both traditionals had to be traditional together.
Thank you.
And so
That's a good point.
Right. So I'm just saying. I'll close with this in terms of the deterioration, and what makes things where we compromise a little more, or
Respect the
collaborate,
mic. I can't hear you guys. Can you hold the side
or,
conversations
or, or,
down?
or collaborate a little more is on this collaboration, right? So again, every kid we raise their hand in kindergarten. How many you want to be successful? All the kids' hands going up. If I ask it, everybody's hand going up, right? So there's a whole process for that in
You
order
have
for
do
that
the
to
work. You have to do
materialize,
the
right?
work. Yeah, you have to
Okay.
do the work.
Right. So again, so in the situation that I'm seeing now in terms of the relationships, and I'm looking at the dynamics, if a brother, right, the pool is smaller. So maybe this guy, he want to put his hands on women, right? Well, I don't want nobody to put their hands on me, right? Or maybe the guy is going back and forth to jail. Well, I don't want nobody that's going back and forth to jail. Well, maybe the guy's on the down low. Well, I don't want nobody that's on the down low.
not
Well,
the
maybe the
down
guy is gay. Well, I don't want to deal with nobody that's gay. Well, maybe the guy don't want to work. I don't want to deal with
We get it. We get it.
Right. Right. All right. Right. So my point.
10 seconds.
All right. My point is this: due to the fact that the pool is so small,
It's
it
billions
is-
of
it-
people,
it's
man.
Important. It's important. It's important. It's important to understand the essence of compromise. That's
Thank
what
you.
I'm saying.
Thank you. Got back to the work?
No. Okay, so my question is, what is the
Wait, that was your
obsession-
question? You stood in line for his question?
No.
Thank you. What's
no.
your
He just
Gina,
said a
pull it
lot of
together.
shit. You just said a lot.
Get to your question.
So my thing is like, what is the obsession with men and grandmamas and what grandmama did? Because grandma, majority of us,
The
women
same
here,
the
it's
same
modest.
obsession what women have with what grandpa did.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what he took care of the family, right? You get what I'm
I
saying?
guess.
And so my thing is that grandma didn't have any rights. She dealt with cheating, abuse. So at the end of the day, when y'all say, "Hey, you women are not like my grandmas," like we don't want to take abuse and cheating families down the street.
That's
Like,
part of
I'm
it.
trying to understand.
That's part of
Well,
it.
time out.
What's the rest of
I
it,
guess,
Shatima?
I guess the point of the grandma and the grandpa is real simple. You want us to be like our grandfathers while you're not like our grandmothers. So it's I mean
don't
it's
want
just
you to be
it's
like
a,
my grandfather. My
That's
grandfather-
you, but I know
wait.
you on social media,
But no,
you active,
that's-
and you see women demanding traditional men
yes,
all
that's
day,
what
every
they
day.
say. My
This is-
my
okay.
father did this. My
are we
grandfather
talking
did
about?
this. Whatever. And the reply men are gonna have is real simple. You want me to be like you want me to be like your grandfather. You're not like my grandmother.
But I'm
Yeah,
asking,
I mean, so
what
it's
did your
just
grandmama do? Cook and clean? I'm asking. I don't know.
but
Yeah.
Right, 'cause my
maybe that
grandma
is
was
what
some-
she.
right.
Maybe that.
Well, I can't
hold on.
identify with the grandma because my
Okay,
grandma.
so we
was
can't
some-
identify with the grandpa.
No.
It's the same thing. I mean, we all generations removed.
Well,
So,
will
I mean,
say-
it's-
You want a modern man, Shatima?
It's
Well,
I don't.
know what I want.
I don't either.
The
So my-
reality is that we're all just different.
Right.
Like,
I don't
we're
do
not
that
them.
modern, traditional, whatever.
So,
if I'm
like-
dating somebody, we're gonna discuss what our needs are and then go from there. Like sometimes
Excellent.
these conversations
That makes
is,
sense.
it's just for conversation.
Was somebody here
Excellent.
talking about
Say it
grandma? I
again.
missed
Say
it.
it again.
Who was
This
in
is
talking about
exactly
grandma?
like the
This is
internet.
fun time
The
for me,
internet,
right?
you
I'm
do
not
anything
listening
on
to
the
nothing
internet.
like
Yes.
outside of the statistical
Yes,
data. But
yes.
if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I'm talking to somebody, we're gonna sit down and say, what are your needs? What are my needs? What do you bring to the? I hate the word table, but you understand what I'm
Yes,
saying? Your good
absolutely.
attributes. How can we assist each other? I
Yes.
don't listen to nobody
Time-
outside, no man outside of the man that I'm with.
Man,
Thank
Right?
you.
I'm just
You know, so
I'm just
that's
gonna
it. That's
I'm
that's
just
it.
gonna
Well-
say this. Time out.
So I
Can
ain't
I
gonna
just
be
say
like my
this? real
grandma.
quick?
That might work good,
In
but
relation-
sometimes men aren't able to. Some men aren't able to express everything that they need. Some men aren't self-aware enough and out of the traditional training and conditioning to even feel comfortable
learn about their
expressing
self-awareness.
things. And so, please don't tell yourself that you can't learn anything from anybody else besides the person that you're
No, what I'm
dealing
saying,
with.
no,
When she's
that's
working on a
not what I'm saying.
relationship.
Like, if I can learn from you all, but I'm talking about, you should be like this. You can't tell me how I should be in my relationship with the person. Me and him need
I
to
don't wanna
discuss that.
interrupt you.
But I can hear your thoughts and what you feel that you particularly do and what suggestions. But telling me what I should do when I'm not in the bedroom with you, you can't tell me.
I'm just
what
gonna
I
say
should or
this
shouldn't
real
do.
quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
That's a nice theory, but it's really not true. Because what actually the reality is just like advertising, right? You see McDonald's on the TV, you see Burger King on the TV, you see these things on the TV, and before you know it, it is in your subconscious mind. When you hungry, then you go to McDonald's. And so we can say all day that what's on the internet don't bother us, or it doesn't affect us. It's just not true.
Right.
If you consume it all day long, because
Absolutely.
like we all got our phones in our hands. We own Facebook. We own TikTok. We own all these things.
phone's been
We
over there
own
these
we
last
own
4
the
hours.
we watching TV, and it's all giving out the same message. There is a reason why so many people are single. It's because they want you to be single, especially women, because women spend more money than 2-parent households.
This is true.
So they are doing this
It's fair.
for a reason. And so y'all can keep saying that, oh, it doesn't bother me. I only talk to or pay attention. It's just not true. It gets into your subconscious and it affects your behavior. It affects your expectations. And you have these things that you see and that you want. And for some odd reason, you're bothered when you don't get them. You get your expectations from watching other people.
Okay, let's go to the mic because we really got some technical issues we got to handle. So let's get you on here, and so we can take a break.
Okay, so real quick, because 3 people have been up here for me, but I wanted to come back to this young man where he talked about roles and what it should be and what it shouldn't be. And my question is kind of to the women. We are all independent. We all get jobs. We all probably have a house. Our kids are probably grown because y'all all about my same age. My question would be, what do you need a man for? Because we used to need him to buy our house and
Survive.
take care of us. What, and this is to my women, do you need him for? And I know you've already said to be your friend.
Yes.
I got the
My
friend part because you
companion.
said that several
My
times.
companion, yes.
For everybody else, what you need a man for, and I'm not asking that for us to say it out loud, but when I got married, I had to figure out what I needed my husband for.
Oh, and y'all are a
had
great
house.
couple.
I had grown children or whatever. I had all of that. I did not need him for money. I had to figure out what I needed him for.
I want the
That's
marriage
that-
y'all got because
What-
y'all are a great couple. I see you guys having a great time and enjoying life and creating memories, and that is what I want.
But is it
They
is
don't
it
come
better
to you
to
with
be
that, though.
wanted or needed?
That's what I need.
Okay, so I'll
That's what I
answer
need
that.
because that's what I'm
Right.
missing.
Is it better to be
I-
wanted or needed? Because
I
That's what I
went
need.
into my marriage and my husband needed me. And then
yes.
I found out how much I needed
Him.
him. So
got it.
it is both ways. But
You got
when
it.
when we first did it, it was how much he needed me. And now to this day, I know how much I need him.
Yes, you guys are
But
wonderful.
again, y'all, we got to figure out as women,
Yes.
independent,
Yeah.
what do we need them for?
And I will-
you have to.
And I will say that as well, right? That I know that I need a partner because I want to have a life partner, right? And I need someone to companionship, someone to share that with. I do find that I like it better when I have someone to somewhat take care of, right? And not to the major sense, right?
And to her
Not
point,
like-
though, we
You know
are
what?
as
Shatima,
a
you was up
woman,
here
right,
talking about
there is
Right.
that
other
nurturing
people
part of
projecting
us
what they
Yes,
need and
yes,
don't need,
right.
and look at you over there.
But
no matter
and-
how much we are
absolutely
modern,
absolutely.
our human body is to be a nurturer,
Sure.
to take care of.
I wanna give
I
all
don't
of
care
that.
what else
Thank you.
gives me.
Yep.
You
He said
want
it
to
was men
take
and
care
women.
of
Yep,
somebody.
you
So,
do.
yes.
You do.
But-
What did you get from that?
Hey,
So now
yo.
you're saying now you've grown with your husband and everything. He came with me, and that's gonna be across the board because men are driving, and y'all are the gift. So we coming at you.
Right.
You gotta come at we coming at you because we realize you're a gift.
He said, "What do you need?"
So what do you
So what I need for him is to
getting now that you didn't have?
see. I cannot say that,
That
my
joy on your pictures.
relationships
The joy.
were horrible.
That
Let
joy.
her-
I never
You gotta
had a
let her.
horrible relationship, so I can't say. I think I found that I got more from him than I got from anybody else.
That joy.
That's just me. But somebody else might have.
It
oh,
show on
things
all
were
the
bad.
pictures.
Ooh.
It looks like a great big smile in
looks like
Dubai.
break.
It is